Hello students, welcome back to our channel. Students, in this video we are going to see how we can multiply a scalar quantity with a vector quantity and what is the meaning of the result that is going to come by this multiplication. For example, we have a vector A, and when we multiply this vector with a scalar k, then we are going to get this vector ka. So what is the significance of this vector? It has a very important significance. For example, suppose this is the vector A, right? So let's make it a bit smaller. This is a vector A, right? A. Now when you multiply this vector A with any scalar value k, you are going to get this vector, which is simply a vector, just see carefully, a vector having same direction as that of A, but having magnitude k times as A. Got my point? Suppose we will just take an example. Suppose this vector has a magnitude of say 10 units, right? This vector has a magnitude of 10 units, and now if you multiply this with 3, suppose the value of k is 3, then you are going to get a vector whose magnitude is 3 times the magnitude of A. That is, if the magnitude of A is 10 and we will multiply this by 3, then the magnitude is going to be 30, but the direction remains same. So Ka vector will be a vector in this direction having a magnitude k times. In our example, this vector has magnitude 10 and then we multiplied it with 3. So this is the vector having magnitude 30, but the direction remains same, right? Okay, but when you are multiplying the vector by a scalar, then that scalar number can be negative also. So what happens if this k is negative? What is the meaning of the vector minus ka? It is simply the vector having the magnitude as k times as that of A, but the direction of this vector is opposite to A. Vector having magnitude k times as A, but having opposite direction. Got it? So how we are going to multiply a vector with a scalar? Suppose a vector is given. Suppose you have a vector A and this vector is suppose 2i cap plus 3j cap minus suppose k cap, and you are multiplying it with 4, suppose. So 4a is 4 times of this vector So what you are going to do, you will simply multiply this 4 with each and every coefficient. You will multiply this 4 with coefficient of I, you will multiply this 4 with coefficient of j, with coefficient of k. So this vector is 8i cap plus 12j cap minus 4k cap, right? Clear? Okay, so this is Very simple. Now let's see properties of this multiplication. If you are going to multiply k with two vectors, with the resultant of two vectors, so it is equivalent to that if you take the resultant of these two and multiply with k, or you will individually multiply k with a and b and then take the resultant. That means k into vector a plus vector b is simply k into vector a plus k into vector b. Clear? Okay. Second property, if you are multiplying suppose two scalars k plus minus l with a vector a, then you will simply open this bracket and multiply a with k and will put plus minus any sign that was between the scalars and then multiply this with other scalar, right? So this is an important property in vectors when we have to change just the magnitude or reverse the direction of a vector. Suppose we have a question like find a vector having same direction, find a vector having same direction as, suppose this vector 2i cap minus j cap plus 3k cap, but having magnitude 8 units, right? We have to find a vector whose direction is same as this, but the vector should have a magnitude of 8 units. Now this will be done using the unitary method. First we will find a unit vector in the direction of this vector. So that vector, the unit vector in the direction of this vector has a magnitude 1. So if we multiply that unit vector with 8, we are going to get a vector in the direction of this, because when we are multiplying a vector by a scalar, we are not changing the direction. So if we take unit vector of this vector and multiply that by 8, then we are going to get the required vector. So the required vector is simply the unit vector of this, which is 2i cap minus j cap plus 3k cap, divided by, how we find the unit vector? We simply divide by the magnitude of the vector and we will multiply this by 8. So this 2 square is 4 plus 1 5 plus 9 14, root 14. So 8 divided by root 14 into 2i cap minus j cap plus 3k cap, 2i cap minus j cap plus 3k cap. So this is the required vector. So this was all about the multiplication of a scalar by a vector. I'll meet you in the next lecture. Till then, all the very best.